Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at why dealerships are panicking and begging you to buy these 7 motorcycles no one wants. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster, the motorcycle that's supposed to be the affordable gateway into the Harley world, but has ended up more like the bike dealerships can't give away even with a free side of chrome polish. Priced at a supposedly tempting $13,000 for black, and a little more for colors that are Henry Ford's favorite, the Nightster's sticker shock doesn't end there. By the time you add the $500 Harley surcharge, $575 freight dealer fees that can reach $999, setup charges and taxes, you're staring down a bill that can easily hit $16,000 or more, enough to buy a decent used car, or for the more adventurous, a lifetime supply of hot dogs at Costco. So why are dealerships panicking and practically begging people to take the Nightster off their hands? For starters, the engine Harley's liquid-cooled Revolution Max 975 looks good on paper with 90 horsepower and 70 pound-feet of torque. But in reality, it's missing that signature Harley rumble and soul. It's smooth, refined, and about as emotionally stirring as a dishwasher, leaving die-hard fans cold and new riders unimpressed. Even with recent price drops, some 2025 models are being offered for as low as $10,000. Dealers are still struggling to move them, sometimes ignoring Harley's own advertised discounts and sticking to higher prices just because they can, or at least they try. The Nightster was supposed to be the bike that brought in new blood, but instead, it's gathering dust while buyers look elsewhere for real Harley character or better deals. In the end, the Nightster might just be the answer to a question nobody asked, and dealerships are left hoping anyone will finally say yes. Number 6. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R is the muscle-bound cruiser that looks like it should be tearing up Main Street, but lately, it's been collecting more showroom dust than miles. Originally priced around $15,000, dealerships across the USA are now practically giving them away, slashing thousands off the sticker just to clear floor space. Some new models are being sold for what used ones used to cost, and if you walk in with a checkbook, you might just get a set of floor mats and a handshake thrown in for free. So why the fire sale? For starters, the M109R is a heavyweight champion, nearly 800 pounds of chrome and attitude, but today's riders are eyeing lighter, nimbler machines with modern tech. The M109R still rocks an old-school analog dash and skips out on the electronic rider aids that have become standard in this price range. No traction control, no ride modes, not even ABS on many models, just pure unfiltered 2000s nostalgia. Meanwhile, rivals are flaunting TFT displays and gadgetry that make the M109R feel like it's stuck in a time warp. Then there's the resale value, or rather, the lack of it. With new bikes being discounted so heavily, used prices are plummeting faster than your confidence after trying to U-turn this beast in a tight parking lot. The M109R is also infamous for gearbox quirks and drive shaft complaints, especially if the previous owner treated it like a drag bike. Dealers are panicking because the M109R is a tough sell in a market that's moved on. But if you've always wanted a brawny Boulevard bruiser at a bargain, now's your moment. Just remember, you'll get a killer deal, but don't expect to flip it for a profit unless you open a motorcycle museum. Number 5. BMW R90. The BMW R90 is a retro-styled roadster that looks like it just rolled off the set of a vintage motorcycle movie, but with a price tag that would make even a Hollywood producer wince. At nearly $16,000 for a new one, the R90 is not exactly a bargain bin find, especially when its closest rivals undercut it by thousands of dollars. It's no wonder dealerships are practically waving white flags and throwing in every freebie short of a kidney to get these bikes off the floor. Why the panic? For starters, the R90 has a knack for sticking around the showroom longer than a stale donut at closing time. Many used models show up with barely any miles, suggesting buyers either baby them or, more likely, realize pretty quickly that the bike isn't what they'd hoped for. The riding experience is, let's say, distinctive, with quirky weight distribution and engine vibes that can feel odd even before you leave the parking lot. Comfort is another sore spot. The seat and ergonomics can turn a long ride into a test of willpower, and that's before you notice the absence of a center stand or get serenaded by the famously noisy engine. Dealers are also caught in a corporate squeeze. BMW's demands for single-brand showrooms and expensive upgrades mean that moving slow-selling models like the R90 is a matter of survival, not just salesmanship. The motorcycle market isn't exactly booming either, so every unsold R90 is a financial anchor dragging down the showroom's bottom line. In the end, the BMW R90 is a beautiful bike that's priced like a piece of art but rides like an acquired taste. If you've got the dollars and the desire to stand out, you might just make a dealer's day and get yourself a bike no one else seems to want. Number 4 is the Triumph Trident 660. The Triumph Trident 660 had all the right ingredients on paper: a triple-cylinder engine, a recognizable badge, and a tempting $8,500 starting price. But now dealerships are practically throwing keys at anyone who walks through the door, begging folks to take this bike home. So what went wrong? Well, for starters, while Triumph promised a middleweight marvel, what customers got felt more like a compromise. The Trident 660 pumps out just 80 horsepower, which sounds decent until you realize bikes like the Yamaha MT-7, cheaper at around $8,000, deliver just as much real-world punch with more aggressive styling and a reputation for raw fun. And let's talk comfort. The Trident seat is harder than your uncle's political opinions at Thanksgiving, and long rides feel like a punishment. It's a city bike pretending to be a tourer. Then there's the design. British understatement is fine in fashion, but in a showroom full of sharp, angular rivals, the Trident looks polite. It doesn't turn heads unless someone's squinting to ask, wait, is that a Triumph? And don't even get us started on the TFT display. It's about as exciting as a microwave clock. Dealerships stocked up thinking this would be the new street triple light. Instead, units are collecting dust faster than a blockbuster DVD rack. Inventory's overflowing, and now they're slashing prices, offering discounts, low-interest financing, and probably a free Triumph-branded mug just to sweeten the deal. In a market that rewards boldness, the Trident 660 played it safe, and safe doesn't sell. So if you're the kind of rider who likes underdogs and dealership freebies, now's your time. For everyone else, the silence in the showroom says it all. Number 3, Harley-Davidson Pan America. The Harley-Davidson Pan America is the adventure bike that's got dealerships sweating bullets and waving incentives like it's a Black Friday doorbuster. Why? Because this $20,000 machine is stacking up in showrooms faster than unsold Christmas sweaters, and buyers just aren't biting. Harley-Davidson's own numbers tell the tale. Motorcycle shipments dropped a whopping 53% in late 2024, and the company responded by flooding dealers with inventory, hoping those big adventure dreams would finally catch fire. Instead, the bikes are gathering dust, and dealers are now practically begging folks to take one home, sweetening the deal with rare Harley incentives, something you haven't seen in years. So why aren't Americans clamoring for the Pan America? For starters, it's heavy, tipping the scales at over 560 pounds. It feels top-heavy and unwieldy compared to its nimbler European rivals. The price tag doesn't help either. After dealer fees and add-ons, you're flirting with $25,000, and that's before you even think about the cost of accessorizing for real adventure riding. Then there's the ride itself. Owners and reviewers alike have griped about the awkward side stand, sticky suspension, and a general sense that the Pan America just isn't as refined or confidence-inspiring as the competition. The new Revolution Max engine, while powerful, runs a high 13:1 compression ratio, which raises eyebrows about long-term durability and reliability. Never a great look for a brand trying to win over the adventure crowd. Add to that a tough economic climate, high interest rates, and a shrinking dealer network, and you've got a recipe for panic in the showroom. The Pan America might be Harley's boldest leap in years, but right now, it's more leap of faith than sales sensation. Number 2, Triumph Rocket 3. The Triumph Rocket 3 is a beast of a bike, boasting a gargantuan 2458cc 3-cylinder engine that churns out a staggering 180 horsepower and 166 pound-feet of torque. It's the muscle roadster that promises explosive acceleration and a commanding presence on the road. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the kicker. Despite all that power and prestige, dealerships in the US are practically panicking and begging riders to take one off their hands. Why? Let's talk dollars and cents. First off, the Rocket 3's price tag is no joke. This bike sits in the premium price bracket, often costing upwards of $25,000. For many riders, that's a hefty chunk of change, especially when you consider the stiff competition in the cruiser and muscle bike segments. The sheer size and weight of the Rocket 3, nearly 800 pounds, make it intimidating for everyday riders. It's like trying to wrestle a small elephant just to park it. This limits its appeal to a niche crowd who can handle and justify such a massive machine. Its massive 6.3-gallon tank means it's thirsty, and the maintenance costs on that monster engine can be a wallet buster. Plus, the bike's sheer girth and weight make it less nimble in city traffic or tight corners, hardly the bike for a casual Sunday ride or daily commute. Dealerships are stuck with these hulking machines that don't fly off the lot because the average American rider wants something more manageable, affordable, and versatile. The Rocket 3's muscle and torque are undeniable, but it's a tough sell when the bike feels more like a showpiece than a practical ride. In the end, the Triumph Rocket 3 is a magnificent motorcycle for those who want to make a statement and have the skill and budget to back it up. But for the everyday rider, it's a bit like buying a private jet when a sedan would do just fine. Number 1 on the list is the Indian FTR. The Indian FTR is the motorcycle that dealerships are practically throwing at anyone with a pulse and a credit score, and for good reason. Once hailed as a bold American take on the naked sport bike, the FTR quickly became the wallflower of the showroom. Why? For starters, the FTR's price tag often hovering in the $13,000 to $17,000 range puts it in direct competition with more established European and Japanese rivals that offer better tech, reliability, and brand cachet for the same or less money. And while the FTR's 1200cc V-twin engine sounds great on paper, buyers in the US just weren't lining up for a sporty Indian when they could get a cruiser or bagger with more comfort and resale value. The FTR, despite its flat-track heritage and attempts at special editions, simply couldn't carve out a niche in a market that prefers big, comfy tourers or classic cruisers. The flat-track racing tie-in. Turns out most buyers would rather watch the races than ride a tribute bike to them. Now with the FTR line axed, dealerships are left with inventory that's aging faster than a banana in the sun. They're slashing prices, offering incentives, and practically begging buyers to take one home just to clear space for models people actually want. If you've ever wanted to haggle, now's the time. There's never been a better moment to see a dealer sweat over a few $1,000s. The Indian FTR may not have won America's heart, but it sure is winning the race to the bargain bin. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.